something. Like, over the last few days, I have just seen some things, experienced some things, and heard some things that really got me really thinking and just, talking to God and just really, the only thing I really was saying to God is like, why? It made me question why we do relationships the way that we do. You know, why do things turn out a certain way at certain times with certain people? Why did this have to happen? Why did that have to happen? It just really made me just ask God why. And the thing that kept coming back to my spirit, and the thing that God reminded me of, was the scripture, Mark chapter 12 and like verse 31. Anyways, it's that whole, popular verse or popular phrase where you hear people say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I think, we use that scripture a lot of times to remind each other and to remind ourselves that we need to love our neighbors. And that's great and that's true. It's in there that you need to love your neighbor. But we skip over the fact that this is Jesus talking, that he said you need to love your neighbors as you love yourself. Love your neighbors just like you love yourself. And I think it also means that you can, or as, that you can love at the same time as you love yourself. Like, they go together. Like, it's not an independent thing. If you love your neighbors, you need to love yourself. And if you love yourself, you need to love your neighbors at the same time and the same way. That love should be walked out the same way with yourself as it is walked out with your neighbors. And so many times as believers, in the name of humility, we forget that we need to love ourselves. That is a part of the equation. It's not independent or secondary. Like, you need to love yourself. Lately, in the last few years, increasingly, I've seen more and more people talk about self-love. And that, everybody's self-love. You got to love yourself. Self-love, love yourself. And we take that phrase, we take that terminology, and we think, I'm going to take myself out to eat. I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to take a trip to the spa. I'm going to buy myself something pretty, or whatever the case may be. And we automatically think that means that we love ourselves. And I think that doing those things are very good. I believe in that. Look, I just celebrated Valentine's Day for a whole week solid. Just me. And I believe in doing that. But that alone does not mean that you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Anybody with a nice amount of money can go out and buy things for themselves and borrow money to go and shop for clothes and hair and all of that. But that doesn't mean that you love yourself. You might get your hair done to go out on a date with somebody. You might, buy this person a gift, flowers, candy, or whatever. You might buy somebody dinner, they might buy you dinner. But that don't mean they love you. That mean they like you. They want to get to know you. They trying to spend some time with you, but that don't mean they love you. That's just an infatuation. That's just initial attraction. You know what I'm saying? Love goes way deeper than that. When we mature, we come to a place where, particularly in dealing with others, we seek to live by this particular passage of scripture where it says, love suffers long, love is kind, love does not envy, love does not parade itself, love is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. Even after a level of maturity, we're more accustomed to taking that scripture and applying it to the way that we interact with other people. And you definitely should do that. You should be patient, and you should suffer along with them. And you shouldn't be puffed up, and you shouldn't be parading yourself, and you shouldn't be rude, and you should endure, that loyalty and all of that. And you should do that with everybody. But the question is, are we really doing that for ourselves? We say we love ourselves. More and more people, I love me, I love me, I love me some me. Can't nobody beat me in loving me. But are you really patient with yourself? If you fail, do you immediately give up and jump into the next thing? Do you give up on your dreams? Do you give up on yourself? Are you patient after a breakup with yourself to say, you know what? I'm going to be patient with myself, and I'm going to endure with myself before jumping into something else with somebody else. Because I need like some me time. Me time is not just when you go to the nail salon. Me time should not just be when you go to the mall. Me time should not just be when you go on vacation. Me time should be, I'm not jumping into another relationship right now because I want to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really love yourself? Like, is it really that bad that you're like nobody else is around you? Like, do you have an issue with yourself to the point where you can't be patient with yourself and just be you? You gotta like jump into something else, or and then like I was saying, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, and you get to a certain age, do you give up on it? Because I mean, like, if you're gonna suffer long with other people, why would you not suffer long with yourself? Like, yeah, I'm suffering for my dream, but I'm gonna stick with it because I believe in it. You see what I'm saying? And there's so many examples of people who, we look at their success stories and we don't realize how late in life they got their big break, but they kept believing, they kept pushing, they didn't just give up on themselves, they kept going. And so that's the thing, like, and I think the reason why so many outside relationships fail with friends, with families, and it's very easy to see in relationships. I think the reason why they fail is because we don't truly have a love relationship with ourselves. We might be infatuated with ourselves, we might, um, I hate to say we might lust ourselves, but we might like what we look on the outside and what we have, made ourselves up to be. I mean, a lot of times, look, here's this thing: we go on these diets and these, health journeys, and we lose all of this weight, change who you are on the outside. But have you come to terms with yourself and who you really are? Like for example, for me, I'm a poet. I'm a creative person, and like people don't always get me. And it took me a long time, years in my life, to come to terms with the fact that I'm different, and that's okay. The way that God created me is good, even though it's different. Now, I could endure and learn to be patient and understand myself and get to know myself, or I could have tried to change myself to fit into what somebody else said I should be. And I've heard lots of suggestions about what I should be over my life. Lots of, like, everybody I ever met had a different opinion of what I should be. And to this day, I don't think people can really get me or put me in a box. But at 36, I finally get that it's okay that they don't understand. It doesn't mean that I need to change. It doesn't mean that I need to become something different. It doesn't mean that I need to lose weight, cut my hair, grow my hair out, color my hair, straighten my hair, get a regular job, go to college. Like, if that's what you're supposed to do, great. If not, love yourself enough to put yourself in the place of people that are going to appreciate you for the you that God created you to be. And stop worrying about trying to make yourself be something that you're not. How many times we focus on changing or fixing our outside to fit some mold of what should be considered good, and we don't take the time and the energy and the effort. We're loyal to everybody but ourselves. So we endure and we're patient and we suffer long and all of that with everybody but ourselves. Another thing about that was bugging me out just today when I was thinking about it, it says it doesn't parade itself. And that was messing with me because I think a lot of times we, particularly as women, put ourselves on display, I think a little too heavy. We could always talk about the Instagram booty models, but I think it's deeper than that. I think sometimes we're like constantly serving and doing and trying to make people like us by displaying our talents, displaying who we are, and just pushing ourselves onto people instead of just allowing the right people to recognize us for who we are. Instead of trying to parade yourself to draw attention, just be yourself, and the right people will be drawn into your space. You know what I'm saying? Like that way, you have a more realistic view of who you are, and the people around you have a more realistic view of who you are, and so it does not become a traumatic experience to love them while you're loving yourself. How long is this video? I have just been talking so long. But when it comes to these outside relationships, we should remember the to love ourselves first, but we should remember to like figure out and or recall what love really is. Like, what is love really? And am I expressing that and walking in that, with myself first? Because if I can't practice that with myself, how can I love somebody? How can I truly love somebody outside of myself? We hide our insecurities in our relationships. We hide our insecurities in puffing ourselves up and making ourselves to be something. And it's like, and so you're insecure with yourself. So now you have trouble walking in this love with other people. Now you thinking they gonna leave you because because subconsciously you're thinking within yourself, I don't even like me. So why would they truly like me? Why would they truly be faithful to me when I'm not faithful to myself? You see what I'm saying? So it's so important to have a healthy relationship and to understand what self-love is. Not telling you not to take care of yourself, not to go out, not to do those things, but please understand that in and of itself ain't love. You know that from relationships. If a man was always buying you stuff but constantly spreading his personal self, sexually, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, he's connecting with all these other people the same way that he's connecting to you, then you ain't gonna feel like he really love you. You're not just gonna accept that as love. So it's the same thing with ourselves. You can buy yourself stuff and do stuff for yourself, but just spreading yourself around to people who do not appreciate you, that's not love. And stop making exceptions for people. See, to be married is one thing, but I'm single, and particularly single people and people that are just in relationships, that have no true commitment, to that other person might not have a commitment to you, and you might have a commitment to them, and it's like, and you compromise and you constantly do things to try to keep this person in your life, and they don't love you because you don't love you. You see what I'm saying? This video is long enough, y'all. If you watch this long, man, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share your comments, your thoughts, and share, and subscribe. Man, and I'll talk to y'all later. Remember, God is love. Love yourself, and then love your neighbors.